Listen carefully. Please remain seated while the train is in motion. Do not cross between the train cars. If you are seated in one of the enclosed coaches or the caboose next to a glass window, it's very fingers, hands, and arms inside the train and not under the window. Federal regulations prohibit the use of any smoking or vaping devices of any kind on railroad property. Now, the town was abandoned for over 20 years. Not long after the area was once again resettled, the British burned Portland in retaliation for bigger than ever. If you look out at the water on a clear day, you'll see many small islands dotting Casco Bay. These are called the Calendar Islands, the name coming originally from a military engineer who said that Casco Bay seemed to have an island for every day of the year. This did turn out to be a generous count, as the reality is closer to there being 200 islands. Since its founding, Portland has relied on lighthouses to light the way into port. 2 lighthouses are visible from our train. Across the harbor is the Portland Breakwater Light, otherwise known as Bug Light. This stumpy lighthouse got its nickname because Portland locals considered it cute as a bug. It was designed by the architect Thomas Walter, who designed the U.S. Capitol's dome and its east and west wings. The light was in active use from 1875 until 1942, and then reactivated in 2002. Today, you can visit Bug Light Park for an up-close look at the lighthouse and learn about Portland's shipbuilding efforts during World War II. Near Bug Light is the Spring Point Ledge Light. This lighthouse is larger than Bug Light, and it lies on the edge of a 950-foot stone breakwater. It was built in 1898 to warn mariners of a dangerous ledge that is hidden within the Portland Harbor. Portland is also home to a number of historic forts, in addition to its famous lighthouses. Across the harbor from our train are 2 former forts. Adjacent to the Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse is Fort Preble in South Portland, and Fort Scammell is located across the harbor from there on House Island. House Island, where you might be able to see Fort Scammell in the hillside, was the home of a U.S. Immigration Quarantine Station from 1900 to 1920. Thousands of immigrants to the U.S. and Canada were examined during those years, and those with contagious diseases were quarantined in the hospital. To the left of House Island, out in the middle of the bay, is a large granite structure. This is Fort Gorges, Gorges. It is shaped like the letter D and was inspired by the design of Fort Sumter. Fort Gorges has had an especially interesting history. When the British attacked and burned down Portland during the War of 1812, the city was left defenseless. It was decided that a new large fort had to be built in the harbor to protect the city. However, progress moved very slowly. It wasn't until 1857 that Congress agreed to fund this new fort. The first wall went up in 1858, and when the Civil War erupted in 1861, residents of Portland grew afraid of new attacks from the water, so construction instead sped along. Unfortunately, progress was not fast enough. Work stopped at Fort Gorges in 1865, just in time for the Civil War's end. Even if the fort had been activated during the Civil War, advancements in war technology would have made the granite-built fort obsolete before it ever fired a shot. Fort Gorges proved to be more useful as a storage facility. Since its completion, it has been used to store everything from landmines to automobiles. These days, the fort is empty, and the only way to get to it is by boat or by an organized tour. The most populous island in Casco Bay is called Peaks Island. Peaks Island is a popular destination for visitors to Portland, with plenty of restaurants, shops, and galleries to explore. Peaks Island is the big island in the harbor, dotted with lots of houses. Our train ride today takes us along Portland's East End Beach. This is the only public beach in the city of Portland. This sandy beach is a popular gathering spot for residents and visitors of the city, especially during the warm summer months. Swimmers, kayakers, pleasure boats, sailing vessels, and ferry boats all share the same water in the area near East End Beach. On the left side of the train, up the hill, is Portland's Eastern Promenade Park. This 68-acre public park was constructed in segments, beginning in 18 1936 through 1934. It was designed by the Olmsted Brothers, who designed roadways in the Great Smoky Mountains and Acadia National Parks, Atlanta's Piedmont Park, university campuses, residential neighborhoods, and entire park systems in cities including Cleveland and Seattle. Today, the Eastern Promenade is known for its excellent views of Casco Bay. This park is also home to a variety of food trucks during the warmer months, and Portland's 4th of July fireworks are launched from here every year. On a clear day, in the far distance, you may be able to see a tall chimney stack. This is part of the Lyman Power Station on Cousins Island. The power station is typically only used for periods of high demand. Closer to the end of the main narrow